This is the fictional mind bender. I just came out of the movie theater after seeing Across the Spider-Verse, and hands down, like everyone else is saying, the movie was just excellent. It really was great. Animation was top tier, acting was top tier, story was beyond top tier. You will hear no complaints from me about that movie. That said, I liked how it brought up this issue, I think, regarding the idea that in order to be a hero, you have to have a tragedy. And that's not just something that plays out in Spider-Man. It plays out in almost every major superhero mythology when you look at it. You know, Superman has the issue of Krypton. The X-Men have to deal with prejudice. Batman lost his family famously, and Spider-Man lost his Uncle Ben, or as the movie likes to point out, a captain of some sort that is somehow closely linked or related to him, or not an ex-girlfriend, but a girlfriend. And this is a question that comes up a lot with fans in terms of, they ask, why does superhero have to be so depressing all the time, and why can't he just, have a good moral compass and do the right thing? Why does he need to sacrifice, basically? And Across the Spider-Verse does say flat out that Spider-Man is about sacrifice. What's the big deal? And I think that was kind of a very meta theme because it's asking something that fans have been asking for decades since, comic books have been, mainstream. And as I'm thinking about this again, just having left the movie, so none of this is scripted or anything like that, I think a lot of it has to do with coming down to the aspect of responsibility. That is, that these characters may have a good, solid moral compass, as it were. They're not out murdering people or anything like that. But at the same time, they're given abilities and not doing anything with them, really. In fact, they're being kind of a little bit self centered. I'm using it to get personal gains and things like that. And there's no real sense of the responsibility involved in having such abilities or the dangers in having those abilities. Like in Star Wars, one of the main reasons that the Jedi are so big into fighting the dark side and, taking in younglings as young as they are is because they want to avoid the dark side of the Force fueling their personal ambitions to the point where it becomes destructive, right? Like said Darth Sidious. Uh, the mo- the movie also shows a consequence of this as well, which I'm not going to go into for spoilers' sake, but it also plays on this, and which is interesting because at first you would think that it's going to take the side of, no, the hero doesn't need to suffer at all. He should be happy, go lucky, and have everything he wants and still do the right thing, and there should be no problem with that. And the movie challenges that aspect of the argument as well. And again, another good point about the movie that it challenges both sides of the argument. That said, beyond that, it's like a character doesn't understand the level of risk and responsibility and the gravitas involved until it becomes personal. And oftentimes, just in life in general, the only times things become personal is when we lose something or something close to us or someone close to us is threatened, right? You think about, in real life issues like, the Sudan or, poverty in South Africa or anything like that. And it's like, I'm willing to bet that most of you listen to this are not going to give a damn because it doesn't affect you personally. Or at the very least, maybe you feel bad about it, but it's not like you feel like you can do anything about it except maybe send money, join the Peace Corps or join some sort of merc group or something like that. But beyond that, you're not going to care. And I'm not criticizing or judging anyone for that because that's how most people are. And that's one of the whole points of being a hero and a superhero is that these are extraordinary people and that they have or have attained the will to make that risk and that potential sacrifice and make those people's problems their problems because in the superhero world they have the ability to do something about that, whether that be through powers or technology. And I think that is kind of the main point behind the whole, I hate saying this, but with great power comes great responsibility, is that if you're reckless with it, the damage you can cause with said power can be astronomical. And that occurs in real life as well. If you become very successful and you just kind of start being sloppy and risky with your money, the risk that you can run on other people's lives can be very big. So that's why I liked Across the Spider-Verse taking on this theme of the responsibility of power, basically. And does a superhero need to have a tragedy? I don't want that to be the case, but at the same time, on a human level, it's hard for me to see how anyone would achieve the level of understanding and empathy needed to then use said power responsibly and for the good of others if they don't have that sense of uh, understanding and risk that what they do in their chosen business, in their chosen life, is not a game. It's not for fun, even though it can feel fun, many times. Other people's lives are involved and are doing what they do, supposedly, for the sake of other people's lives. And they have to take that just as seriously as a fireman would have to take, saving people from a burning house, or etc. So, anyhow, those are some of my thoughts, my immediate thoughts after seeing Across the Spider-Verse. Again, great movie. Highly recommend you see that. If you have any thoughts on this particular topic that it brings up, go ahead and comment below. Make sure that you put a spoiler warning in case other people want to comment have not seen it yet. So go ahead and express your thoughts, but just if you need to, put a spoiler warning beforehand. Otherwise, this is the Fictional Mindbender, and you guys have a good day.